Hey, Lindsay, how are you?
I'm doing good, Michelle. How are you? How's everything going?
I'm doing well. Oh man, Lindsay, though, do you ever get tripped up with spelling?
I do. I mean, I consider myself a pretty good speller, but honestly, sometimes I write it and then I think, is that right? Or was it an IE or an EI is where I struggle sometimes.
Yes.
You know?
Oh yeah, that. Yep, exactly. So yeah, this is not just a language learning thing. I think native speakers get tripped up a lot with certain words. All the time, really.
Oh, for sure. All the time. So what we need to do is know how to talk about that, right? Because that is where the connection is. This is what we like to do on this show is we take any common thing in the world and we figure out where is the connection moment in that situation. And this is it. It's talking about your spelling challenges, right?
Yes.
That's
and
what I'm
double
so excited
checking
about.
on how to spell. Yep. Absolutely. So this is going to be really fun. So guys, make sure you hit follow wherever you listen to the All Ears English podcast. Don't miss anything from us. Just hit that follow button if you haven't already.
Exactly. And even if you want to watch this podcast on video, we are right here on camera over on YouTube. That's another option, depending on how you like to learn. So if you want to go over there, you can search for All Ears English and hit subscribe. So we have many ways to consume the show, depending on our lifestyle and how we like to learn. All right.
Absolutely. Incredible. So before we get into it a little more, we have some poll results from Spotify. Yay. Guys, we love to do these Spotify polls. We do them for every episode, really, but on some of them, they're the special ones where we're going to read the results out loud. And it's just a really great way to interact with everyone. So, Lindsay, what was the episode for this poll?
This was from episode 2448. Weird and wonky weather in English. Love the double alliteration there.
Yes.
Triple alliteration, I guess.
Yes. Fantastic. And the poll question was, would you rather be too hot or too cold?
Yeah, and I'm actually kind of surprised by your answer, but I wonder if it just your answer tends to reflect on where you live. If it's the opposite of where you live, you know what I mean?
Or what season you're currently in.
Or what season you're in. Good point, Michelle. Right? If we're in summer, people might say they'd rather be too cold, right? Yes. Sure. So what were the results?
So I was also surprised by these. So I was also kind of happy because I agree with this. But again, it's because it's summer here and it's hot. So 38% of those who answered said they would rather be too hot, and 61% said they would rather be too cold.
Oh, so I think I'm in the too hot category. I just feel like being too cold feels almost dangerous or something. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah.
I don't know. It's been really hot here this summer. And it's just too bad because I just know I'm gonna change my mind and say I'd rather be too hot once it gets too cold. So
for sure. Well, there you go. There's our polls, guys. Be sure to participate in our polls. You do need to be listening over in Spotify if you want to participate. So consider becoming a listener in Spotify. All right.
Absolutely. So I thought that it would be great to go through some words in English where there are a lot of mix-ups with spelling, or that maybe there's more than one way to spell these words. So we're also going to show you how to ask how something is spelled, right? When it can be done in a couple ways. So, we're going to go through some fun ones, just a few, and then really talk about how to incorporate the ask into our conversation. So
the ask, the connection moment, right? I love it.
Exactly. So one, I actually just happened to get these for my kids today, is donut.
Lucky kids, right? What kind of donuts did you get, Michelle? Was it chocolate glazed or Boston cream pie?
Well, my son got a chocolate glaze,
nice.
And my daughter got a pink one with pink frosting and sprinkles.
Okay, got it.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. So that they were very excited about that. So, but how do you spell donut?
Yeah. I know. That's the point, right? That's the good question. Well, there are two ways to spell it, and we've seen both. I mean, I've seen DONUT, and I've also seen DOUGHNUT, like dough, nut, like bread dough. I feel like I've seen, for Dunkin' Donuts, I've seen it spelled D-O-N-U-T. Maybe it's more for brands. I don't really know, right?
Yeah, I mean, both are okay. I see both. So I don't think you can really go wrong either way. I think D-O-N-U-T, to me, it's more common. It's a little bit D-O-U-G-H-N-U-T. I don't want to say the word snobby, but
it feels old-fashioned. It feels a little more old-fashioned, I think.
Like a little more stiff, which is so funny because we're talking about a donut. So how can anything?
Yeah, what is stiff about a donut? Come on, right?
Unless it's stale, I guess.
So
but here you really can't go wrong. But D-O-N-U-T is what we've seen more frequently. Now this one gets me. What's the next one?
This gets me too. I'm always second guessing myself when I write this word.
Yes.
It's canceled. So it's the past tense of cancel. We have seen it written with one L and two L's. We've seen both, but maybe one is more common in British English. Which one do we think is more common in British
I believe
English?
two is more common in British English. But again, I mean, you can't, like, either one is okay. I actually to double check, I just typed both of them in again on my sheet to see if I would get a red squiggly line under either, and I did not get one.
Okay, well, that means both are an option, but we tend to second guess ourselves. So we may be asking someone this question: does it have one L or two L? So we'll get to those phrases in just a minute. There's another one that has the same scenario we need to be able to use. Our listeners want to use this verb, right?
Right, which is traveled. So past tense of travel. So again, British English tends to have the two L's and American English might tend to have the one. But again, you can't go wrong. But there is always that moment where you're like, wait, which one is it? And I don't think anybody really knows. What do you think?
Yeah, no one really knows. It's true. That makes me feel better, right? That this is not, spelling, I think, isn't necessarily a measure of competence. It's just, some people are good at it, others are not. There's so much more in the world to learn, right? But we try to get it right as much as we can. So we're going to take a quick break, and then we'll be back to talk about a few more that get confusing when it comes to spacing, Michelle.
Yes.
Okay, I'm excited for this next one because I feel like at some point in school I learned this, and then now I always remember it, but before I learned it, I forgot it all the time,
Okay, so what is it? And tell us what you learned. And
that was a lot, Michelle. That was a lot.
That was a lot.
Well, there it is. A lot is what we're talking about here, right? So the phrase a lot, like an excessive amount of something. Right. We do use a space that is best for formal writing between a and lot. So a lot. What do we think, Michelle? Is this rule ever broken?
Yeah, I mean, I would say in an informal text, I would say it's okay. But yeah, I always put a space. What about you?
I always put a space, even in texting. This one, I feel like it's the kind of thing, once you know it, and you don't forget it.
Yeah, because again, I'm looking at the red squiggly line over a lot with no space.
In our notes. Yeah.
Yep. So that was a lot. And then we're going to do one more, and then we're going to get into asking about spelling. So this one is email, and I always thought email was with a dash, mail, but apparently there is no dash now.
But I wonder if the spelling has changed, though, as it's become, how they used to say World Wide Web and all these things that sound so antiquated now. I wonder if they did originally spell it like email. Oh, that's so creative. Electronic mail, email, but now it's just email. Could you send me an email? It's just become a full word.
Right. Yes. Yeah. So apparently you're right. It was with a dash, and then over time it did change to no dash. So that is very interesting how that can happen. So no dash with email. But again, if you put a dash, I don't think anyone's going to freak out. But yeah, it is correct to do it without a dash.
All right. Now I'm excited, Michelle, to get into the connection piece because it's all about asking for help sometimes.
Yep.
Right?
Yeah.
And what is the scenario that we might be in when we might ask for help, Michelle, for example?
I mean, let's say you are working on a project with someone You might be kind of writing something together. Maybe they're sitting next to you when you were the one taking notes, and you might just say, oh, does this have a blank or a blank, right?
For sure.
So there's a lot of different scenarios. So, or even if you're text messaging next to someone, you're sending a text and you might say, wait, does this, we all have these moments. I definitely have had people ask me, I've asked people, oh, what is it? So, it's a good one. So
you're doing like arts and crafts. You're making a sign. I remember making a sign on cardboard with my niece, and having that question like, does this word have a 2 L's or 1 L? Right.
Yep.
So these are the questions. So let's get into those questions, Michelle. What are they?
Yeah. So the first one is, does blank have a blank? So we're gonna use. And we're going to use nerve-wracking here because you and Aubrey did an episode about nerve-wracking. So, guys, you can go ahead and look up nerve-wracking and find that episode. So, for example, does nerve-wracking have a W? Or does email have a dash? Or
is there an X in Y? Is there a something in something else? Right. Is there a dash in nerve-wracking? Is there a W in wrinkle? Right.
Yes. Right. So is there an X in Y? And sometimes you might hear or no at the end, right? So like, is there a G in donut or no? Right.
And it's hard, but the answer is whichever one you want, right?
Yes.
But today's about the question, asking the questions. So
exactly. Or what's another question you might ask if you're not sure, right? So like this is especially useful for the canceled examples.
So for example, how many X's are in that? Or how many L's are in that? You want me to write canceled? How many L's are in that?
Right. Exactly. Or you could say, 1 blank or 2, or 2 blank or 1. So 2 L's or 1 L or 2.
Yeah. Do you sometimes maybe you might get this when you're spelling your name if you have a double L, like maybe a Melissa or something. I'm thinking.
I got it.
You do get it. Yeah, of course. Of course, for Michelle.
Yeah, Michelle. And I'm 2, but a lot of, and I think we've done this episode before, an episode about names and talking about spelling, because that's a really common one. Whenever I meet someone who has my name, it's always 1 L or 2, right? Every single time I meet another Michelle, never doesn't happen.
Yep. And in that episode, we talked about how fun it is as a connection moment because it's kind of contested. It's like, are you team A, or team double L, or team single L? It's the same for me with EY and AY.
Yes.
Guys, if you're excited about that episode, go and find it in the archives. It's somewhere deep back in there, but it was a great connection episode, that one.
Yeah, that was fun. And one more is that X or Y, right? So just say what the spelling is. So is that DONUT or DOUGHNUT, right? Or you might you don't even have to say is that. You can just spell it out, DONUT or DOUGH. Or you might even just use the section that's kind of debated. So you could say right. NUT or OUGH, right?
You might end up saying the whole word for that one, but yeah, exactly. So taking the most convenient part. Again, we want to shorten things so we can get to the connection moment. Of course, we don't want to be too long-winded in our question.
Yes,
right?
Exactly. So let's show how this
Michelle,
would look.
Yes. Okay, let's do it. Okay. All right. So here, Michelle, we are classmates and we are working on a project. Right?
Okay. Perfect. Okay, so let's write free donuts.
Okay, I could put that down. DONUT or DOUGHNUT?
ONUT.
Okay, so it says free donuts. Does email have a dash?
No, I don't think so. Okay, so type this. We have a lot of free donuts.
Is there a space in a lot or no?
No, not here.
Okay, now write the free donuts were canceled.
2 L's or 1 in canceled?
Let's go with 1.
Okay.
Nice. We're having a lot of challenges over here. Oh, that's fun. Very typical conversation, though. Again, if you're working on some kind of project together, some kind of signage that you're creating, or a joint announcement of some sort, right? Yeah.
Right. Exactly. So this is kind of fun. So you said, okay, I can put that down. And then you said DONUT or DOUGHNUT.
So I did the spelling method here, right? And then you said ONUT. So you didn't respond with the full DONUT.
Yes.
You could have done that. Sure, there's no hard and fast rule here. But you were just saving time. And you said ONUT. Right?
So next, let's see. You said, oh, does email have a dash?
Right. And then you said, no, I don't think so. And then you asked me to type this. We have a lot of free donuts. And then I said, a lot. Is there a space in a lot or no?
And I said, no, not here. And then you said, okay, now write. The free donuts were canceled. And I said 2 L's or 1 in canceled. And you said, let's go with 1.
Well, we got our work done here, Michelle. We got it done. Nice. Good job. Well, this is great. Michelle, what's the final takeaway for our listeners for today? This kind of episode. What are we looking at today?
These are kind of fun. It's always, there are these specific words that you can probably think of 10 words if you really think about it, that you always, I mean, for me at least, that I always have like a little bit of trouble with.
Exactly.
That you're always going to forget. And chances are that those are fairly universal. So you can generally connect with somebody about that. So these are just really good ways to connect. Don't be afraid to ask. And it's kind of fun.
Yeah, you got it, guys. That's the connection moment right there for you. And Michelle, I'll see you back here very soon. Guys, hit the follow button if you love our style of connection, not perfection. All right.
Thanks for chatting with me, Lindsay.
Bye, Michelle. Take care. Bye.
Bye.